What's up, everybody? What a race. Fellas, was that not a heck of a race or what?
Boys, I'm still trying to catch my breath over here after that.
Hey, I did some hooping and hollering throughout that
Yeah, I
one.
got in a
Listen,
little trouble for waking up the baby.
Listen,
I
that right there is what they call a classic burn barner.
yeah,
You know,
I go ahead.
Or what? What?
the best part was you didn't expect it.
No,
No.
Like, who here
Yeah.
thought it was going to be a snoozer of a race?
I did. I
I
mean,
was-
Well, I don't.
No.
I don't think there was a single pass in prelim in any heat race or B main for the.
We
Sudos.
made up for it in the feature.
I was gonna say. I guess it's
Would you,
worth it. if
would
get
you
a
rather
feature
have
like that.
exciting heats or an exciting feature?
It's a good
Yeah.
point. Good point.
Yeah.
All right,
mean,
so
features and exciting and features important. It's preferred.
So if
Yeah.
y'all are here, we're assuming you know what happened. If not, though, Devin Moran just won a heck of a race at Volusia to open up the World Outlaws season. We had 4 lead changes: Ethan Dotson, then Pierce, then RTJ, then Moran, and then it come down to it. Looked like the only thing that was lacking was the finish of the race was a little bit not quite as good as it could have been.
The last what 5 laps really was all. I mean, everything was shaping up to be like the end of it. One more pass coming there with Shepard hard charging from 16th there. I really think he was probably a little or the best there. But he got held up there in lap traffic a little bit and
Had
killed
that not happened, what is it? Kyle Bronson holds him up with 2, 3 to go. I think you could have had one of them nail biters all the way to the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
But-
he was still pretty close, even though he got held up twice
Right.
by Bronson there. So yeah, you'd like to see what had happened if he'd got clear of him when Moran did.
Hey, all in all, a heck of a race to open up the 2024 World Outlaws campaign. Hopefully you were watching. We're gonna dissect it here a little bit, talk about it, and have a little fun. Thank y'all for joining us. I know this is a little different, something we haven't done a whole lot of here on the main YouTube channel. But we're watching the Speed Weeks races, and we know a lot of y'all are. So we said, what the heck? We'll just hang out and talk about it after the races are over. As many of the Speed Weeks events as we can sit down here and talk about. Should I go ahead and tell them about the other plans?
yeah.
We all set on that, ready to debut that.
I think so. I think so.
So we did this last night, kind of off the, I don't know what's to say, off the cuff, just decided to do it and did it. And we enjoyed it. And we're going to try to make a thing out of this. So we have created another channel, a separate YouTube channel called the Hunt the Front Podcast. So we got a YouTube channel, the Hunt the Front Podcast. We got some clips from last night that you can go back and watch right now on that. Well, not right now, but after we're done here tonight, go watch it. Subscribe to that channel. And if all goes as planned, we're going to go live on that channel tomorrow night. So we'll have a separate channel to do this stuff, and then we can keep the main Hunt the Front channel, what you're used to here. The shop vlogs, the vlogs from the racetrack, and then have the other Hunt the Front podcast channel to do this kind of stuff. So check that out, and I don't know, we'll see where it goes. Should be a lot of fun.
For sure. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. But all in all, a heck of a race tonight at Volusia to kick off the. There's someone just I'm assuming that's Jesse over there. Just
That was
commented.
me.
Oh,
I'm the new, I said I'm the new channel.
I'm the new channel. So check that out after we get done live. And if all goes as planned, we're going to go live from that channel tomorrow night
Yes.
after Volusia, the finale.
And for those that might wonder, like, why are we, trying to change channels? And I've been thinking about it. It's like, it's just too much content. Like it's enough content, hopefully, that we're going to be able to create out of it that it would over clutter our Hunt the Front channel. It would just have
Right.
so much stuff going on that'd be hard to keep up with. But if you're into this and you're really enjoying this kind of style content, because it's a lot different, well, we're going to have a whole channel that is just for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I see a comment there asking about what about a podcast for Patreon. All that kind of just rolls on.
We're still doing that.
Oh, yeah.
When we talk about our racing, like we have a podcast on Patreon right now from yesterday where we talked about the Crown Vics, the Enduro, all the fun we had there, and then our plans for Speed Weeks. So here we're going to save it. What we're going to talk about here would be the bigger scope of racing. like what we're about to talk about tonight, the World Outlaws, Lucas Oil, just whatever dirt track racing we find interesting that we think a large audience would want to talk about. On Patreon, we're going to talk about our racing and give y'all the inside scoop to all of that. So the podcast on Patreon is not going to change from what it's been for the last, I don't even know how long we've been doing that. 3 or 4 years now.
4 years
Yeah.
probably.
130 something episodes.
Yeah, and we're still going to go live from the every race that we have a signal to go live. You know how some racetracks are on Patreon. I got a blog post. I'm starting I'm not going to call it weekly because I can go ahead and tell you it's not going to happen weekly, but almost weekly blog on Patreon. So that'll be out hopefully early next week. And then I'm going to try my best to hit that as often as possible and just give y'all my personal thoughts. Whether it be
if you didn't already know, that's where Hunt the Front started.
Yeah, as a blog. A couple years before the vlog started, it was a written blog where I wrote about my opinions, made a lot of people mad. Some people laugh. And that kind of got us our start. But anyway, so yeah, the Patreon stuff, patreon.com/huntthefront, going to keep right on doing that stuff just like we have been doing for quite a while now. But let's get back to it for tonight. The World Outlaws 2024 opener at Volusia was as Joseph called it. How do you say it? Not a barn burner, but a what?
Burn.
I was teeing Joseph up.
Yeah. Jesse had it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You were so excited to say it.
I know because it's. Go ahead. This is you, man. This is all you.
This is your saying, Joey.
It's a burn barner.
A burn barner, boys. It was a heck of a race. Heck of a race.
Race of the year. Forget about it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier, but if the finish could have matched the middle of the race, it could have had the potential to be the race of the year. But
For sure
it just didn't quite. It's got to have everything to be race of the year. It's got to have beginning, middle, and end. And at the end, it was kind of settled. They were racing hard for second, though.
No doubt.
That's for sure.
It was fun to watch, man. We were sitting here and just all of us talking at the same, seeing it and looking at it like we were there, watching on Dirt Vision. It was really entertaining there. At first, you think Dodson might run away with this thing, and then here comes Pierce, and Pierce is going to go away with it, and then here comes RT, and it's RT's going to run away with it, and then here comes Moran. Moran's going to run away with it, and then Shepard got there close and got pinned up, but it was a good one.
Our buddy Craig Rouse said what Joseph said while we were watching it. I won't say exactly what Joseph said, but he wasn't happy with Bronson.
Well, I mean, you watching it, it's like you know Shepard's coming, and it's like it's not that I would have been happy with whoever it would have been. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like
Keep it on the bottom.
Bronson just happened to be the car that was in the way.
Yeah. And it's like, dang it, like if Shepard can get to it, like clear his quarter panel there and get out there outside of him at least down the front straightaway, and keep Moran right there. There's probably another pass for the lead before it's all said and done.
It definitely felt like Shepard had the car to go like he had the fastest car at the end.
Right.
I mean, he came from, where did you say he started?
16th,
the
Not
second
bad.
for Shepard.
That's impressive. In today's day and age.
Well,
So,
Pass that many cars. How many cautions were there?
one,
just one,
or
wasn't
two?
it?
One caution. So to pass
One.
that many cars with only one caution.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
and then
impressive.
there was quite a few movers and shakers.
Yeah.
Shooters and
Shooters. Someone said
makers.
Dillard.
Yeah.
Todd Mize says Dillard last to 8th. I haven't seen that or confirmed that, but
Let's
that's
see.
that would be a heck of a drive. Actually, you know what? I might have had him in my dirt draft.
Because he had to unload another car. He
Yeah.
might have started last.
Yeah,
he
he
did
blew up a
provisional.
motor, I believe.
Or
Yeah,
not
he
a
said.
provisional, but had to go to the back.
And then also Dennis Erb Jr.
Where'd he end up? I know I had him in my dirt draft.
I think 26th to 15th or something.
Yeah, we're gonna elaborate on that later. I got a bone to pick with. I don't want to say World Outlaws, but dirt late model racing in general. About that, but we'll come back to that.
Dennis.
Poor
Poor
Dennis.
So
Dennis was just trying to do Dennis things on the
bottom,
and then
yeah. But my thing about this race though is, like, I almost texted y'all. We're all watching it and we're texting back and forth, like, things like, man, these 604s sure are acting like 602s tonight, stuff like that. And I almost texted y'all during the heat races, this is gonna be a snoozer.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it felt, right? That
Right.
this one line is kind of pretty fast, too fast around the bottom is
Yeah.
what it felt like to be a good race. So it's cool to like. I seriously thought we were gonna sit there and watch a boring race, and it turned out to be a heck of a race and a heck of a way to kick off the season.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
It just goes to show you never know.
you never
you
know.
You
know?
just never know.
It's
You
the
never
track
know.
can widen out, slow down a little bit, and widen out. You might have a good race.
So it
Yeah.
felt like early on that Ethan Dotson, like Joseph was
He blasted off.
trying to call it on lap 2. Ethan Dotson's gonna win this race.
No, I'm like, he's looking good. Like usually, a lot of times, you get somebody up there, like somebody like if it was me on pole, I'd be happy to take off and lead the first lap.
Mhm.
Without falling back to third or fourth.
Anything
I
above
mean-
that's a bonus, man.
I'm just saying, like that's a feat. You know
It
what I'm
is.
saying?
It
To,
is.
like,
It is.
you mean you don't know how good those guys are at like just doing the start and going around the first couple laps there, because everybody knows that if you can get out front, that certainly ups your chances at winning the thing. So Pierce was doing all he could uh to clear him off the start and all down the back straightaway right there on the first couple laps, and then Dotson keeps on and goes on and leads 4, 5, 6 laps, whatever, however many laps, I don't remember, but for a second there, I mean, he pulled off a little bit, from him, and looked really good. So hats off to him. I think he's gonna run really well. I'm sure we'll race him some through the year,
No
on the
doubt.
series and everything. He's a pretty good competitor.
So it felt like he got to lap traffic though, and he just couldn't quite make the moves that he needed to make to keep Bobby behind him.
Well,
is
yeah, it's
what it
just like
seemed
what
to
I was.
me.
Yeah, and like we were pointed it out there in the feature race, just how much, like at a place like Volusia that was so fast there tonight, and so if you're not in the right little spot on the racetrack, you can easily just slow down a half a second, like as as quick as you could get one, you just lose it.
You can
And
give up a half a
um,
straightaway real quick, like.
yeah, in no time at all. It's very easy to do there. You get sucked up behind somebody and catch them at the wrong spot, or uh, just try to maneuver around someone and find yourself in the dead part of the racetrack just for just a second, and someone that's been wound up, hooked up where they need to be, just reel you right in. So, um, real tough little joint there, real tough big joint there.
Big.
It's just so fast. You know what I mean? One little
Yeah,
mistake just costs you, like I said, half a straightaway. Real what was it? Dale McDowell slipped up off of 4 or through 3 and 4, and he's lost 4 or 5 spots there early.
Yeah.
And you can see it several times in the heat races. Somebody slips up and they go from a transfer spot to almost last. But
Yep.
Especially in the heat races, whenever it was like you just got
Really
freight trained
hammered
to be
down,
Like
yeah.
Bronson one time slipped up. I think Tanner English slipped up, and it's like your night's ruined.
You're
Just
done.
out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Pierce gets by Dotson, and then it's like, well, Pierce is going to win this race. Like, it's over. Pierce has got it. Reigning champion, set to do it again. Told you, Joshua. By the way, we picked our champion, who's going to be World Outlaws champion. We all three, me, Joseph, Jesse, picked Pierce. Joshua picks Madden. I was like, there you go, Joshua. Done messed up.
Hey, speaking of Madden.
I think he was eighth, ninth,
Eighth?
something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
according to Dirt on Dirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so it looks
Speaking
like
of, hey, I just want to go back to that because y'all all picked Pierce, and in fact, I think the question was if I had to bet my house, would I actually have picked Madden? And I said if I could pick not Pierce, like I would. I think I would pick. I don't think Pierce repeats, and I actually lean towards more thinking about Shepard. And then tonight you see Shepard come out and he looks
he
pretty
looked
good.
to be the fastest car.
Yeah, so I think he's carrying the momentum from the end of last year into the season. So it's going to be pretty exciting to watch. How about someone pointed this out in the comments, but 6 Longhorns lead the field. I think Dale McDowell there with the Team Zero
the
chassis.
first
Yeah.
non-Longhorn.
Non-Longhorn.
Where was the first rocket?
Blair in 9th.
Blair in 9th.
Yeah, so 1 rocket in the top 10. Or what's Dillard in? He's in a
He's a Longhorn.
Dillard's
Longhorn?
Longhorn.
Oh wow, okay.
So 1 rocket in the top 10.
1 rocket and 1 McDowell in the Bloomquist car.
Where did O'Neill end up?
13th.
13th.
Tyler Bruning 12th. There you go.
Okay.
Solid run.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised though. You say that, I wouldn't be surprised if O'Neill wins tomorrow night.
It's true.
Yeah,
you know
or
what I'm
like
saying?
he completely flips where
Yeah.
there's 4 rockets in the
Mhm.
top 5 or something. Like, that's how this sport comes and goes. It's just night by night.
Yeah.
But definitely the Longhorns seem to be the class of the field tonight. So Pierce leads, and then RTJ gets by him, drives by him on the top. Did he not?
Yes,
I
he
mean,
did.
drove by.
Blew his. I had typed the title to our stream here. Opener at Volusia. Thornton blows Bobby's doors off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever.
You weren't gonna post
I had
that.
it typed out though. RTJ blows Pierce's doors off. Stuns Pierce, I think is what I
Yeah.
had. And then it's like, oh, there it is. It's done. RTJ has won. And I had already closed out of the stream, but y'all said he run out of tear offs.
That's what RT said in the his post race interview, that like 15 to go, he runs out of tear offs and he had to back up and kind of ride around in the bottom a little bit, and I guess he couldn't see. So so I guess then that really sucks. Anyway, I think every racer's been there.
Yeah.
Jesse probably more than most people, because he only starts with 5.
And then I rip them all off in one pull.
One.
Yeah. So hey, I'm seeing a lot in chat saying Blair's in a Longhorn.
I did. I was
Is he?
looking to try to confirm that.
I
Okay.
honestly don't know.
So
no.
would that be if that's true? Would that be no Rockets in the top 10?
Yeah, that would
Oh,
be
Ouch.
your highest rocket is Hoffman's in a
It's a
Longhorn,
Longhorn be
right?
O'Neill 13th,
O'Neill 13th. Yeah,
and then Herb in 15th.
Mm.
What's
Wow.
Gustin in? Did Gustin
A
switch?
Longhorn.
to
No,
Longhorn?
Gustin's a
Yeah,
Oh
Longhorn.
yes, he's in a Longhorn.
So Moran Longhorn, Shepard Longhorn, Thornton Longhorn, Pierce Longhorn, McCready Longhorn, Dotson Longhorn, McDowell Blomquist, Dillard in
Dillard.
8th Longhorn, Blair I guess Longhorn, Madden Longhorn, Hoffman Longhorn, Bruning Longhorn. That's your 12, and then
Hey,
O'Neill 13th.
You got his number, Joshua. Text him, ask him. You in a Longhorn?
Blair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we need to know.
We'll sort
I don't
that
know.
out.
I honestly don't know what he's in.
Enough people are saying it that I think it's true.
Probably might be true.
Yes, right here. Okay, on their Facebook. Finally got some 3 days ago. Finally got to turn some laps at Golden Isles in our Centerline Motorsports Longhorn chassis.
Wow. No
Nice. There you go.
Rockets in the top 10.
Top 10.
in the top 12.
Top 12.
Yeah.
13th.
Just go ahead and call it like it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, that's what we do here.
I mean,
Call it
but
like
like
we
I
see it.
said, that that can completely flip tomorrow.
Yeah,
could.
it
Um,
could.
I think that it not like I don't think the top 12 is going to be Rockets, because I don't know that there's 12
there's not
Rocket
enough
cars
of them
that
there.
caliber down there.
Mhm.
But all I can say is, like, there's no doubt that Rocket can go turn right around and sweep the podium or top 5 tomorrow.
We shall see about that. So RTJ gets out front. If there's a caution pretty quick thereafter, or a perfectly timed caution, he wins the race. I feel like, because
Possibly.
he doesn't. He has a lot better chance. 'Cause
Right.
He doesn't get in lap traffic and
Yep.
have that issue, have that to deal with. But didn't work out that way. And the next thing you know, I know Joseph saying, "Here comes Shepard. Here comes Shepard." And then I'm like, "Here comes Moran." And it's just, you had a 3-car battle there or just real tight through lap traffic for the lead. Moran gets by RTJ and goes on to win the race. And like I said, to me, the best part about it is you had a thriller of a race when you least expected it.
Yeah. It was the track starting out, it was just so narrow. They had the rain last night and it just looked a lot like really muddy up top where you wasn't gonna ever be able to get up there. And they were able to widen it out somehow and actually put on a really good race.
Heck of a race. I think Moran, I heard them say that was he is the only driver to have repeated at the Sunshine Nationals. And now he's won 3 of them.
3 times.
Now
Yeah.
he's won 3 of them. So clearly he's pretty good there historically. Could be the skew, if you will, of his race car. Remember,
Hey,
this
when
is
I pulled up Facebook after the race. That was the first thing popped up, is the most skewed body there happened to win. What kind of BS is this?
well.
Well,
I know they
just don't
said.
say, I've been telling y'all this for a week.
Yeah,
like-
ever since that picture started floating around Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, there ain't a car. I ain't seen one look like that ever. It's going to get out of hand, if that's a whole nother topic or rabbit hole we want to go down right now. But these bodies and nose pieces and everything shaped the way they are and pointed the way they are, you can't. How do they get it in and out of the race trailer? I have no idea.
Got a bender in there.
Yeah. Dusty
Yo,
and Jordan would rip our whole right side off.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't have a
And
door left.
yeah,
What it
and the
reminded
left
me of.
side too. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
every bit of
completely
it.
crooked.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that photo as like last year, maybe 2 years ago of Hoffman's modified that
Yeah.
everyone was just losing their
Mhm.
Yeah.
mind
Mhm.
about?
That's
This
what it
is
looks
almost
like.
the exact same scenario with the Moran's
Mhm.
late model.
Yep.
I mean, it definitely had noticeable. I
Yeah.
mean, you just look at it, and we're talking about a
Uh,
face
like
picture that got.
the nose and roof are pointed one direction, and the rest of the car is pointed another.
Yeah.
I
Like
see
it's
his I see
there's
But
no
so
doubt about that. You could even say like his nose is nose and roof are pointed north, and his let's see if I can make this make sense. His from his
Go with the
T
clock.
bar
Go with the
behind
clock.
the hood, the T bar behind the hood, all the way to the spoiler, excluding the roof, is pointed north, northeast, west. So, like if you had it on a compass,
You
uh,
know what they say about air?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
free.
It's free. Air's free.
yeah,
You can find a lot of speed there, and it's free.
yeah. It's just
Um,
wild to
Yeah.
look at, and I think that it's that is on the verge of out of control, and something's got to be done.
well, to their credit, the World Outlaws, Dirt Car, whoever, they said they made it abundantly clear early on in the stream that he went through tech and passed tech, whatever that means.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not saying that his car's illegal. I'm saying the problem is tech.
right. We
You
need
know what I
we need
mean?
to rein it in with the rules.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, hats off to him for building something that can catch as much air as that thing is. Um, I'd say
Well,
that thing is a prime example of a sheet. What would you call it? A sheet metal masterpiece,
Yeah.
really. But
It's a work of
it's not.
art.
Yeah, it's a work of art, absolutely. But it's not their fault. They're taking advantage of the rules.
right.
It's
So do
the
we need
rules
like the
letting them.
NASCAR templates where they put
I think
the
we need to drive through a template. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you
It
can't
fits. It
fit in that,
ships.
you don't get through it until your car fits through there.
was it Turbo that we were talking to,
I
and
think it
he's
was. I
at
think
what
it
was
was.
that
Yeah.
at Fairbury a couple
probably
years ago?
Fairbury. Yeah.
Yeah, a
And
couple years ago, back when all this crap wasn't like it is now.
yeah, but y'all remember that Turbo
Mhm.
comes over to our trailer that day at Fairbury, one of the midweek races after Eldora, the one for
It
the
was
road,
that flow racing race.
one for
Flow
the road,
race.
where you missed it by
Mhm.
one spot to Super
Yeah.
Ship,
Yep.
and he just went off on
Dude,
the
he like
problems
sat
with
in our floor and just talked for an hour and a half about the problems.
Dirt Late Model Racing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
he,
that was right after Eldora was a snoozer,
yeah,
right?
Mhm.
Yep.
I
And
think we got started on Droop was his main complaint.
yeah,
As that
right.
would have been 2022, and Droop was, I guess that was the first year it was nationally instituted. So he's complaining about that, and then he started talking about the bodies, and he said we just need to be able to drive through. You just have this thing that everybody has to drive through, and if you can't drive through it, like you go over the scales, but you also got to go through this template,
Mhm.
and if you can't, you're out.
Yeah,
Right, and
assuming that whatever body damage you might have,
that is a whole
Well,
nother point.
that's kind of a problem.
Right.
Well, you got to
That's
drive.
that's
Maybe you got to
another
drive
thing.
through it to get on the
Before
track.
to get on the
I don't
track,
know.
you got to drive
Yeah.
through it. Yeah.
Mhm.
And to be clear, the problem, the concern, I think, with the bodies is, the goal is to catch as much air as you can with it, right? So you got downforce and you're fast, but the problem is then you're making it harder for the guy behind you, and that's where we get the dirty air effect,
Yeah.
right?
Who was
And
it,
the guys
Jesse?
lose
You
the
said
nose and lose
Yeah,
the air.
Right,
Jesse
it was
pointed
just
it
when
out at one point.
When Pierce passed
Pierce
Dodson for
passed
the lead
Dodson
off
off
of
of
turn
4.
4, Dodson
Mhm.
rides a wheelie to the flag stand or for
Yeah.
100 feet. Just complete like Pierce slides up in front of him off of 4. Dodson literally pops a wheelie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, just the nose
Um,
floats. It's the
mhm.
wildest looking thing.
And I can
Yeah.
tell you, whenever we we were at Eldora for the World 100 this past year, and the racetrack was super. They had it super fast. I mean, it was the world was they had it hooked up. The only time I've been around that place with my foot on the floor. And like we were really good when we were out there by ourselves.
Right.
But as soon
Yeah.
as we get
Set
around
fast
other
or
cars or you get around other people,
mm-hmm.
and like if you enter the corner anywhere close to another car, your hopes and dreams of turning when you get to the corner, you're out the window. Like you can't. You're just out to lunch, and it made for like the starts and restarts in turn 1 were absolute chaos, and then once everybody stretches out, you're just kind of stretched out until
Yeah.
they're like in the feature race. Once the racetrack slowed down, they could get up there and bang off the boards, and it made it a little bit more technical. But all in the heat races and stuff, you were on pace and you could go around there wide open and get strung out. It didn't matter, you
Yeah.
know. So I don't know. I just think we should do something about the bodies
Collectively
and
as
stuff.
a
Yeah.
as a
As a
sport.
sport.
Like,
Maybe this is the
we have the unified dirt late model rules.
Mhm.
Needs to be a unified dirt late model body rule.
Well,
Like,
there is,
it-
but
there
they
is,
haven't
It
got
but
is.
it
it
needs to
right.
be
Yeah.
reeled in. It
Yeah.
needs to be
Yeah.
reeled in.
They got to figure it out. Because it's definitely. I mean, it's a big track. At East Bay, it won't matter as much, you know. But
Well, it still does because the things are so like how much of a footprint on the racetrack do you think Moran car, like all of them are wide and
Mhm.
stick out, like, but since we're talking about the 99 and the way his body and stuff is, like, how much of a footprint do you think that leaves, like if you have him on the racetrack going around the racetrack, how much space does that car take up from the left front flopper to the back deck of the rear spoiler?
a
Like,
lot of it.
how much
Yeah.
of a footprint does that car leave?
It's a big
Being
wake.
sideways and like you can't. Here's the thing, like in dirt late model racing, if it's just like Shepard trying to pass Bronson a minute ago in lap traffic. Bronson is tailed out. If Bronson's car is straight, Shepard's driver he drives right by around the outside of him. But since Bronson's tailed out, like there's no freaking room for two cars to be in there sideways. Well, most places, and like you go down the back straightaway like on a start or something other. And if you're on the outside, and if you're not like if you don't have your left front fender at the other guy's right front tire, there's no way you can enter on the outside of this guy unless you have a lot of room, like
Right.
like at Volusia, especially like in the heat races and stuff. If you don't have if you can't get your car turned right beside that one, there's no way you're going to go into turn one with anyone else there. But some places that are wide and there's plenty of room, sure, if somebody's running the bottom, somebody's running the top, it doesn't matter. But for places that are narrower, like Volusia was in the heat races and B mains,
It's why you saw
that's
them
why you've seen
touching
everybody
wheels.
that's why you've seen everybody on the outside just giving up and basically letting the leader start the race, and they just do their best to fall in second. I see McCready do it in the heat. There was 3 or 4 heat races where the outside pole guy didn't even try to race for the lead.
Right.
They're just trying to get down and get in as fast as
because
possible.
because the chances of jumping the guy that's starting the race and beating him in turn one are slim to none at that
Right.
level of racing. And if you can't do that, you're going to shove across the fluff and get in line in about 5th.
Mm-hmm. So you better get in behind him.
The only thing you can do is just get in behind him. Like there's nothing else. There's nothing else you can do there.
You can also run through his right rear quarter panel and take him out.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
if you're that kind of person, sure.
or I don't, it happens. Whatever the case, Moran wins the race.
Was that a transition?
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
No,
That's the
I
bone
don't
I
think-
have to pick.
I don't suggest we cover any of that.
No,
I mean, no, I think it's worth talking about, man.
Okay, your argument is we need to fix the bodies, right? My argument is we need to do away with this. We don't make judgment calls. Are we not
Mhm.
competent enough, our race directors for the national series at least, are they not competent enough to make judgment calls? We're talking about.
I don't know.
Hold on,
I think that here's the thing about judgment calls.
Mm-hmm.
Is half the time there might be a judgment call that was in the 4th or 5th row, and nobody's seen it.
Yeah, but if it's for the lead and we got it on replay, we can. It's 2024. We all sat
call
there.
the booth. Call
Yeah.
the replay booth.
Let's
Yeah,
look
that's
at it.
right.
All right, look, real quick. What we're
let's
talking
get the
about.
referees in their little thing where they look at it.
Throw the flag. Blow the whistle
my
and throw
gosh.
the flag.
We are
They gotta
referring to what heat race was it? Heat
I don't
3.
know.
I'm really
Oh,
mad because I picked Herb in my dirt draft, right?
Mm.
So Dennis Herb is on pole of heat 3, heat 4. I don't even know what it was. And Garrett Smith's outside pole, and Herb does Herb things, being cliche here. And he goes in there, parks. I don't want to say parks it in the bottom, but he's keeping it in the bottom. Gonna dig off the bottom.
Yeah.
He's good at that, right? Well, the 10, Garrett Smith, he's trying to get as much of a run as he can. He sets up high getting into one and tries to kind of drive across the corner. And when he does, he clips Herb, spins him out in the middle of 1 and 2. No laps complete. It's a complete restart, right? Herb got spun out by the second place car. Yet they say, oh, only one car stopped. We're not making a judgment call. We don't make judgment calls in the World Outlaws, the National Touring Series, the best of the best here. We don't have a race director that can make judgment calls. We can't do that. We can't make a judgment call. We can't look at that and say what happened. We're just going to put the one car that was on the pole that got spun out by the car behind him. He's got to go to the rear.
Yeah.
What kind of
I,
sense does that make?
I
I
mean,
think the only sense that it makes is that you, you do it's the same way every time. That's the only
Yeah.
I
sense
mean,
that
yeah,
it
they
makes
did
is-
it. They did it by the
yeah.
rules. They did,
It's
but
the-
that rule needs to change.
well,
No,
that's
I will
Joe-
say my problem with it is the rule. So if two cars spin out there, let's say one of the cars, the last car to try to get by the wreck or spins, out as well, trying to
It
avoid him or
saves
something.
Herb.
It saves Urban out. But my problem with that is the whole reason you don't give one guy his spot back, but you'll give them their spots back if there's more than one, is to keep someone from
Stopping
just pulling up and
purposefully.
stopping on
Mhm.
purpose because they got a bad start, or looping it on purpose to get because they got a bad start. So that rule is there because of that, and this clearly was not the case, right? It clearly was not Herb, causing a caution because he got a bad start. And to me, I always thought that rule. I didn't go read it, but to me, that rule should read without contact from another car, right? If you're contacted by another car causing you to spin, I think you should get a spot. If
Right.
your spot back, everyone should get their
If there's
spot
any
back in that
contact,
case.
everybody should get their
Right.
spot back. Complete restart. 0 laps complete.
Yeah, the only
Right.
problem is it wouldn't have done Herb any good because there's no.
Yeah, well,
no,
still, I mean, yeah. Well,
Um,
my argument also is that we need, as a sport, you're talking about, Joseph, you mentioned earlier about getting away or doing something about these body rules. Well, we got to do something to have consequences for
Yeah, there are
someone
no
spinning somebody.
repercussions. Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying the 10 meant to spin. He didn't mean to spin Herb. But he didn't mean not to. And he hit him and he spun him out and he cost him a shot at winning the race. Herb,
It
instead
ruined
of
his night.
it ruined his
Yeah.
night. He was starting on pole of a heat race, gets spun
Mhm.
out by the guy behind him in turns 1 and 2. Now he's last in his heat race. And there's no consequences whatsoever. What's stopping the guy in the next heat from saying, you know what? I don't have a good shot of getting a good jump here on the outside pole. We talked about that earlier. The outside pole guy was basically having to give up. I'll just go down there and run over the leader in turn 1.
Yeah.
What's
Let me
the
just hook
consequence?
him and
Only-
go ahead and get him out of my
Right.
way real quick.
the only consequence is
Tearing your
for
stuff
that is
up.
you're going to tear your own stuff up, and then there's this like just like Garrett Smith there, his fender and his hood had a big gap because
Mhm.
his left front was crunched, and we raced it at Volusia there in a crate car, and got
Makes
our
a
left
difference.
front got crunched and had a big gap between the hood and had a big hole there where air could get off the hood, and I'm telling you, it was like that happened halfway through the feature race, and it was
I
totally
remember
different race
that.
car
I was
after
like,
that.
I was remember thinking
Um,
we might win this race, and then
yeah.
all of a sudden it's like we're going to be outside the top 10.
Yeah, it was completely different.
Mhm.
So that's what's going to stop you. And just like Garrett Smith there, I think what he finished third in the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he gets in behind Herb, he probably runs second.
Yeah.
So
But
um,
ultimately, he still transferred, wrecked the
Right.
guy. Herb without a provisional doesn't make the race at all tonight.
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
so, I mean,
it's unfortunate. I don't know that there's ever going to be a difference just because nobody wants to have judgment calls because judgment calls open up a door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
It open-
you're going to have
Comment
You're
here.
gonna
It
have
opens up a
somebody that
can
was
of
like-
worms.
yeah, you're just gonna have somebody's like, well, y'all didn't see what happened to me, and it's like, no, we didn't see what happened to you.
Yeah.
And
Well, you're
you know,
racing for
so-
ninth in a heat race. No, we didn't see that. Like,
Well,
I
yeah,
get it.
right.
That person's mad about it, but let's all have some common
Well,
sense.
well,
You know?
Well, there's the thing about racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's out the window.
way that-
Everybody has to be,
Yeah.
have a little bit of,
I just,
the way-
common sense just to go do it and spend the money it takes to be there.
how much? Okay,
Hey.
I'm gonna watch football tomorrow, right? I'm gonna watch the playoffs. I'm gonna watch racing too. But how much time am I gonna sit there while the referee's looking at a replay to get it right?
to try to get it right.
Why can't dirt racing spin? It wouldn't have taken us. I mean, I guarantee you, the race director saw it. Like he
Yeah.
knew. Oh man, this sucks for
I
her.
guess the different what you'd have to have is just cameras,
Yeah.
on, all throughout the field, catching whatever happened. That way, when there's a caution or whatever, you can go back, see what happened, and penalize who needs to be penalized. That's the only way you can do it right. And then the way things are now with streaming, and I mean, how many cameras do you think they have at Volusia for this event?
Oh,
They have a
quite a
lot.
few.
There's
Yeah,
Quite a
yeah.
few. Yeah.
I'd say
Yeah.
easily 7.
Yeah, about to say 6.
Well,
So say they add 2 more cameras just shooting throughout the field, you're more than likely going to catch whatever carnage there is. So you could go back and review that. And making
Yeah.
the call. But that's what it's going to take is just to have something to review. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think that there hasn't been footage to review, and we're slowly getting there. So
Man, Craig is on it with the
I,
comments.
I just seen that. I seen it too. He
Throw
said,
the red flag on the
we'll
field
give
for
the
a
crew
challenge
chiefs a
on the
red
track."
flag to throw for challenges."
I'd love to have a
Sure.
challenge flag. Can you
That's funny.
imagine if you were Tanner English racing? Who was he racing for the it was Shepard. I'm pretty sure in the heat race, Tanner English beat Shepard to the flag stand, but at Volusia, the scoring stripe is way back here. Like,
oh no, it was
who did
somebody. Shirley.
Oh, it was
blowed
Shirley.
up.
Shirley broke.
Brian
Broke.
Shirley.
Yep.
Yep.
He broke something or other, and
That's one where I would have thrown the challenge flag on that one. But anyway, that's a whole nother
yeah. And
topic.
then English doesn't make the show.
Yeah.
No.
for the B-main.
Speaking of, did y'all see we had this discussion last night about Tanner English when we were doing our picks? Did you see he elected not to use an emergency provisional tonight?
Why didn't he? Like, what? I mean, it
I'm
doesn't
just
pay
saying.
anything, I
mean,
guess.
I'm
He's
just
not
saying,
worried
like,
about.
why not?
Because if you're not worried about racing for points, is what
Yeah,
I'm
but didn't
saying.
they pay to?
So returning drivers don't actually have to pay the
Oh.
buy-in. So
Oh,
I'm just saying, could be something to that as far as whether or not they are, running
really,
Outlaws.
really
It's-
dedicated to running that. And that's we went through last night for those of you that weren't here and kind of said our predictions for the 2024 World Outlaws. And there's a lot of guys on that list. By the way, they said it was up to 22. Did I hear them say Ethan Dotson is
Mhm.
going to run the series?
Okay, well, they even said uh on the broadcast that they're yes, they signed up, they signed the loyalty deal, the contract deal, but that they were honest about they're going to see where they are after
Right.
Florida is what they
So-
said. And I think that's what all these guys are doing. Like,
Mhm.
Right.
and you're not. I mean, 22 last year. I think they had 20. Right, you're gonna by the first non-speed weeks race, you're gonna be down to 15. Right, you may be a little less
Yeah.
than that. So.
Listen,
But
I w-
everyone's thinking if you think you might run the series, you might as well go
you
ahead and do
need
it.
to go ahead and sign up just in case. But like Ethan Dotson, he finished 6th tonight, so
Yeah,
he keeps that up, then he might stick with it.
right.
I do want to say, as far as the no fault rule or whatever, no judgment calls, like I've had enough of that. To me, it's gonna get like, remember NASCAR back?
Mhm.
I don't watch it no more. It might still be this way, but when I still watch NASCAR, it's like all the guy in second did was spin out the leader and go win the race. And it feels like dirt late model racing might get to that point. That's all I'm saying about that. We can move on to the next topic, but I don't want it to be that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with him.
All right,
But-
next topic.
Okay, yeah. I just want to go back into it, but yeah.
It's a can of
Well-
worms. I get it, but at the same time, it's you can't tell me watching that wasn't infuriating. I
It
like
sucked.
the problem is I like Dennis Erb. Just you can't. He's a hard guy not to like, right? And it's like that stinks. You know what I mean? Absolutely stinks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. How about any surprises tonight?
Ethan Dotson.
Ethan Dotson. I
Mhm.
think we're also that's pretty good. I will say for him, he did catch a oh wow, thanks to
Clint Weaver.
for
Thank
Oh
you, man.
wow, dude!
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Dang.
Clint
Appreciate-
Weaver.
He says, appreciate all you guys do. Appreciate all you guys do for dirt track racing. Hey, we appreciate the fact that we can sit here on a Friday night and talk with you
Mhm.
all and do this. And this is
Yeah.
what we get to do for our living.
Yeah. And according to my computer, there's 572 people that give a crap.
Yeah.
That means a lot to us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
There was a time not too very long ago that we did this, but it was just
Not-
us. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
No, nobody other than the four of us gave a crap.
Yeah. So thank you, Clint. Thank you everybody for being here and being a part of this.
Yep.
Um,
Thanks for the super chat, buddy.
what were we talking? Oh, Ethan Dotson.
Oh,
Definitely.
surprises
Yeah.
for the.
He
for the
had
night
some
for
help
us.
though. He was the beneficiary.
Exactly.
Dotson benefited from Herb getting spun out. It moved him to the pole, and then he
Right.
wins the heat, draws the pole. But I would say he did a good job with the pole. Like,
Yeah.
that's a tough spot. You could have easily, if you're in over your head, you could easily go way back. I think he ended up 6th. Like,
Mhm.
that's not bad. It led a few laps and ended up finishing 6th. That's not bad.
That's
For
good enough
that.
to where you could sit here and say, "Oh, they probably just missed it a little bit. They
Yeah.
could have won."
But not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Not a
mean,
bad show.
like, I think he's a good driver and he can win at that level.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I was gonna say I think some of the other rookies surprised me a little bit. Is it Dustin Sorensen that won to be
Wanna
main
be
Sorensen,
main.
Yeah.
Sorensen
and
looked good.
The
and
tw-
uh and
that's
Hilzebeck?
was in
That
the show and
Oh man,
Hilsebeck. I was going to talk
I
about
think he
that.
broke something with
He
his
did.
steering there.
Yeah,
I
his
power
don't know.
steering
Clearly
line
he
You
has
know
busted
what
is
it
what it looked
reminded
like.
me of? Well, the smoke was kind of weird, but I seen him in his car spinning the wheel.
Yeah,
and
no,
the
nothing
tires
was
were-
turning.
It reminded me
Yeah.
of when the steering shaft came out on my car. Like
Mhm.
it just
Yeah, but
nothing-
something smoked, so
Yeah.
like power steering fluid or something happened. But he definitely had an issue there coming to the checkered. I mean, golly,
that sucks.
you know,
What did that
And-
race pay to start? Probably $1,000 it cost
Yeah,
him right there.
$1,000, yeah.
And whatever
but
he
still,
tore
I
up.
don't think it's too much. He wasn't too worried about the start money. It's just the points, and he's in there to run the whole deal. So
Did y'all hear what they said about him?
that's terrible.
He had
has
some
been
motors.
he's got 2 engines he's waiting on
Yep.
that he's been waiting on for over a year.
Wow.
I'm assuming new, and he's hoping he gets them soon. He's I guess got the one
And then he-
motor.
and then he came with one motor down
Yeah.
the speed weeks.
Mm-hmm. So
Mm.
Hey,
That sucks.
keep seeing some people are asking about Dotson, who he is, like where he came from, or whatever. But
modified
uh,
racer that's
yeah,
just jumped
modified
up
racer.
to. He won a Hunt the
California?
Front Super Dirt Series race last year, did he not? At Talladega.
He won our race at Talladega. Really good modified driver. I think he drove the Longhorn modified house car. Their part was affiliated with Longhorn. That way, won a bunch of races. They said he won some races at Volusia in modifieds, and now
He
he
won
just
the
jumped up
was
to
it
late
the
models.
Rootman tribute race
Rootman
or
Memorial,
Rootman?
yeah.
Excuse me.
Or-
That's
or-
what they said on stream. Big modified race down there. He's a modified guy that you're going to hear a lot from in the dirt late models going
Mhm.
forward.
And being hooked up with that Copeman's Farms, they have good stuff.
Yeah.
So
He's a guy
he's
that's very talented and has a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Other surprises? You got anything else? The track and how it ended up being racy. That was what surprised me.
That was a shock.
Mhm.
Just how good
Oh,
the race was.
How about Bam Bam in the 604s?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I didn't get to see all I know is that they wrecked there on the start a couple times. And then I had to go. I don't remember what happened. I think Kayla called me. She's at the store, and so I was on the phone with her and didn't get to watch what happened. I clicked back on it and he's leading. I'm like, dang. The last I seen of him, he was up against the inside wall and all in that mess on one of those starts, and I figured he might have been broke. So
Yeah.
good job.
Wins him a
Hats off
crate
to him.
race.
Mhm.
Richie Rocketman Stevens gets
Yeah.
a crate win.
Yep.
After
That old,
Whitener
Whitener
broke.
broke. Yeah. How about
what?
70 crate cars down there?
Yeah, the
What?
127. What's old boy's name?
Austin
Austin
Yarbrough.
Yeah,
is
wins
that
one.
the go-kart racer
Yeah.
that was so
Yeah, it's the
the
go-kart guy.
the dominant guy?
Mhm.
Joshua, when you were
Mhm.
racing go-karts?
I think
I
so.
think
I think
it
it
is.
is.
He's a
won-
go-kart guy.
He won the big race at Callahan that I went to.
Yeah,
The big money
yeah.
race there, and I went to. You were racing, and
Yeah,
he's
he was
Who
winning
won the other
everything.
one?
who else
So
won?
it's Richie
Brown,
Stevens,
Dylan
Dylan
Brown.
Austin
Yeah, that's
Yarbrough,
right.
and Bam Bam Pinkrist.
That'll be an interesting race tomorrow night when you got
Yeah,
all.
I'm
So
looking
they
forward
split
to
up
that.
the 604s into
Mhm.
4 features. You get them all into one main event tomorrow night. That'll be a good one. But it shows you what the 604s don't do when those were all other than the wrecks. Those were all snoozers, and then the supers get out there and put on a show.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Which
it's just part of crate racing.
Volusia can handle some
Man.
horsepower to get around that.
Yeah,
joint.
I was gonna say, how about the crate? That's one thing we didn't talk about. New track record, by the way.
Yeah.
And everything.
And
Everything.
everything.
New track records all across the board at
Mhm.
Volusia this weekend.
Even at 602s, or did they not?
602s last night. I know they had a new
Okay.
track record. I
Good.
believe the 604s tonight. I know Bobby Pierce Pierce was fast time set a new track record at Volusia. So
So the track record, just notes here, now is a 15.100 from Bobby Pierce, and
Yep.
in the crates for 604s, the track record is a 16.808. So that's the difference in track record from a super to a crate car.
I bet you that's one of the places with the biggest spread between supers and crates on track record. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a crate motor has its tongue hung out down there.
Are you
Sure.
laughing
All
at
the
me
way.
about my notepad over here?
How many
Jonathan was
pages-
laughing at me. Dude, I gotta
Well, 'cause-
lie.
Okay, so me and Jesse were watching qualifying, and he's taking notes, and I'm like, it's stuff I forgot about it half a second after it happened. And Jesse's like, oh, I gotta write that down.
Yeah, I mean that's just little tidbits, we gonna talk
Somebody's
about it.
taking-
we
What
gonna
else you
talk
got?
about
Give
it.
us
He's
some
taking it
notes.
serious.
What else you got?
Dude, I don't know.
He probably can't
Uh,
read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half of it. I just wrote
You
down the
nobody
track
else can.
record. Um, in hot laps, Pierce was 2/10. No, they're about a tenth and a half. Ricky Thornton Jr. In hot laps off of the fast time. Mike Marlar's fast time overall in Group A.
Hey,
Or
oh,
no, it was
No,
Moran.
he
I'm sorry, it's
wasn't. Yeah,
15.228. 15.228. And Marlar was second.
the
Now
confusing thing was they
turn to
said.
page-
Turn to page.
let's turn to page 2.
How many pages of notes did you have?
Oh, I got 1, 2, 3.
Jesse the journalist.
I got 3.5 pages of bullcrap wrote down.
Oh man, good stuff.
Oh,
How about?
jeez.
Hey, I just
Jesse.
noticed this. I was. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Jesse.
Here's someone I was a little disappointed with, and he might watch this, or he might even be here. But I was a little disappointed in the Air Force Ashton Winger. He didn't have he didn't have a very.
I
good
had him
night.
in my dirt draft.
I almost
did
did.
him a
I gotta check
Snapchat
my
and
dirt
say,
draft.
I was in my notes. I was
Yeah.
disappointed in a Winger right here. Didn't even start the B main. Supposed to roll off 8th DNS. I mean, where's he at? Come on, Ashton.
Where are you? He was gonna be one of my sleeper picks for my dirt
Yeah.
draft, and he didn't qualify. I thought he would be on front row of a heat. Like I just assumed, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
Winger, right? But he wasn't, so I didn't pick him. But I done had it in my mind. I gotta go look at my dirt draft and see. Have y'all looked? How'd y'all do?
I don't know. Oh, that's a good.
I was like 400 and something.
Really?
I forgot to set my lineup.
I had 3 cars in the feature, so
Oof. I got all
Let's
5.
see. Hunt the Front Volusia night 1. I'm 204th. 204th out of. I think we had 500 and something. So I'm mid pack.
Who won? Give him a shout
Hold
out.
on, let me get that. Let me get to that.
I got 80th.
80th. That's not bad.
That's
That's
good
not
for you,
bad.
Jesse.
It was like 400 people, dude.
I got to get new glasses. Can someone else read that? I can't read it. It's too small. Can someone look up and see who won in our dirt draft for tonight?
In the
Trying to
meantime,
ZXR 2972. He had McDowell, Moran, Garrett Smith, Tim McCready, and Max Blair.
yeah, good lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Speaking of dirt draft, y'all, we are still doing sponsored contests there. The Hunt the Front sponsored contest. You can win a $10 promo code. I think we're gonna do that all through Speed Weeks. So be sure to get on there and play and join, and and we can play against us when when we remember to set our lineups. Y'all did a good job of tonight. I forgot.
I
Thanks for the
texted
reminder.
y'all.
Yeah.
I texted
He
y'all.
did. Yeah, he did.
I was
That's how I
grilling.
remembered.
And I just I
Grilling,
had to do
chilling.
to get dinner tonight, so it just slipped my mind. Hey, you just mentioned Garrett Smith. Did you realize that he was 16th, one spot behind Dennis Erb Jr. in the final rundown tonight?
After
So,
all
so-
that.
Her
that.
beat him.
yeah.
He throwed an elbow on the pass there.
Surely he had to.
Yeah.
I do have a question. How do the points work for the World Outlaws? Do those count as normal races, or do they do like Lucas Oil where you only count a certain amount of your races for points?
I think they count.
in
I think
speed
these
weeks?
are full on points races, and then the final 3 nights of the second week of Volusia they're all just regular points races.
Right.
Right.
So isn't Lucas Oil, all of the speed weeks you only count like your 5 best
Yeah,
finishes or something like that?
Theirs is different.
So
or
World
it always
Outlaws
has
is
been.
they all count normal.
Yeah, which they
Okay.
run less races, than
Right.
Lucas through Speed Weeks.
So I guess there's no chance of Moran running World Outlaws. He didn't sign up, right?
so. I mean, I don't know exactly what the rule is if you can sign up after the fact, but I don't think he intends on it. So I think even the kind of the way he talked in his interview was that he wasn't really like he said something about about it, but yeah. So I don't know, but I don't see him switching.
Right.
You know,
He's one of those guys where I could see like he starts off hot every year down there. You know what I mean? Like is one of the dominant cars in speed weeks, and then sort of is, I don't want to say not good, but just isn't as dominant the rest of the year.
Hit or miss ish.
Yeah. Not as he's
Yeah.
consistently good in speed weeks, it seems like. and then
Mhm.
gets into the rest of the year. I mean, he ended up, making the final cut there in the Lucas Oil, and had a chance at winning the title there, obviously at Eldora, but it just seems like he doesn't quite. He makes you think he could have an RTJ Bobby Pierce type of year, but then doesn't quite fulfill that after speed weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm interested to see if he can. Hey, there's Kayla.
Yeah.
Interested to see if he can, maybe
Hey, it might be his year. This
Might
might
be.
be it.
it might be.
Never know.
I don't know. After tonight, I would say RTJ and Pierce look to be on track to
They
maintain their
looking good.
dominance. There's
Doing
there's
a
a
good job.
there's a question for y'all. Did do Joshua? You said last night you picked Madden to win World Outlaws because you don't think Pierce is going to have another year like he did last year. 2024 will not be as good as 2023. And you said that, historically, was it Overton in 2021 had a heck of a year and then didn't live up to it in 2022. Davenport in 2022 doesn't live up to it in 2023. Anything change after watching tonight and seeing Pierce and Thornton right there in the mix? Or do you still stand by the idea of those guys are going to have a hard time backing up maintaining their dominance?
Yeah, I think so. I will say I even told you guys last night after we finished recording that the reason I picked Madden was more of a, sentimental favor because he's never won a national tour and you kind of want to see him do it, right? I don't think Pierce will match his performance from a year ago. I still don't think he will, no matter how good he is in Florida. I don't think he's going to. Um, if I'm being honest, and I mentioned this last night when we were talking, I think Shepard probably has a better chance to beat him than Madden. And that was kind of reinforced tonight, right? It's only one night, but I kind of wish I would have picked Shepard over Madden. Looking back at it now, but we'll see. It's a long season.
Yeah. So after night one of the World Outlaws, you're ready to change your pick to Shepard.
Yeah,
I told
pretty
y'all that.
much.
No, did I not say that after we at the end last night when y'all were like,
All
"Would you bet your
fishing.
house on that?" And I'm like, "Well, I'd probably bet my house on Pierce not repeating." But I kind of have a suspicion it's going to be Shepard that is the hot driver on the Outlaws this year.
You look good tonight.
Thanks,
Yeah,
sure
Yeah,
did.
he was
That
running.
was impressive run from the back.
Anything you guys are looking for tomorrow night as we go into the final night of the first leg of Volusia?
I'm unsure what the weather's going to be tomorrow.
It's gonna be
or, like,
cold,
how
I
that's going to
believe.
go. If if it's going to dry, the racetrack's going to get drier. But it'd be. I think that place has a lot of room to be. For the heat races to be like that in the future, to be slower and not be rubbered up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think if we can have that, I'd like to see that. Maybe the qualifying is a half a second slower, and the heat races are a half a second slower than that, and then the features a second slower than what the heat races were. I think that and they get to racing, the cushion gets way out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they get
So-
to coming off turn 4 way the heck around there by the entry
right,
gate.
breaking the wall.
Mhm.
So I think that would be cool. I think the place can get like that and not be rubbered up there in the middle or bottom. I'd like to see that though.
Any thinking, man, we could have been down there, or when you see Volusia, is it kind of like,
No,
man, that
no,
place is
I'm okay not going. That's
Yeah.
that's I'm
That's
telling you,
tough.
man, that's hard laps on
That's
your
hard.
stuff. That is hard
I
laps on your stuff.
I seen a couple motors. It appeared to be, a motor or two, let
mean,
loose.
Yeah, I'm almost. I mean, we have what we would need to go down there and compete. We have it, but we only have one of it.
right.
Yeah.
So,
we need it. We need it to make the whole season.
Yeah.
Could you
and I
could you
just know, like,
imagine being in Cade Dillard's shoes? I mean, I don't
Oh,
even know
man.
if he actually blew up an engine, but that's what it looked like. And you go down there night one of how many races do they run? 50 something races of the season. He's gonna run 80 or 90 races this year, and
To
Night-
start it off
yeah,
like that.
blows an engine.
Yeah.
Golly, how that's why we're here and not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a long year, and we gotta pace ourselves to get through it. But
And we are for one not chasing World of Outlaw points. And it's
Yeah.
a whole nother it's a different series that starts in March.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then watching the 604s, it's kind of like, those guys are running over each other down there.
Yeah, they tore up.
Yeah.
I remember texting you at one point. They tearing up some,
Yeah.
some stuff out there.
I think it's almost though. It almost feels like people think, man, it's Volusia. I want to win here. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
sure.
and the 604s, they divide them up into 4 features. So these guys got a good shot to win a race and get one of those straw hats, and they go crazy over it. Seems like.
Yeah.
What do you do
All right. So, if y'all had to say right now,
right now?
who do you got to win tomorrow night?
I put RTJ in the winner's circle.
Dang, that was a good pick.
Pick.
Shepherd. I'm taking Shepherd.
Gosh.
Mm.
Okay, Moran.
I think RTJ.
Moran
I think
again.
I think he puts another stack on his helmet, and
And then he doesn't run out.
And another check on the wall.
yeah.
Cat, who do y'all got tomorrow night?
I'm gonna have to say Bobby Pierce. I mean, if y'all you got Shepard, you got RTJ.
Let's just take the top 4 from tonight.
Like,
No, okay, here. No,
what
no,
about
no, 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 no.
Moran?
Who's
I will
got
take
Moran?
O'Neal. I'll take Hudson O'Neal right now
I
to
was
win
about
tomorrow
say,
night.
I would like to see what Rocket does. Do they turn around, come out tomorrow night swinging, and be up front?
I got
You know?
O'Neal. O'Neal's going to do it tomorrow night.
That's a good pick. Like,
Yep.
it really is.
Yeah. He's won one of these deals before, I think. Didn't he win one last year, like come from the back or
I
something?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, one other thing. Who do we got? What two I told y'all we got I watch football. Like, I don't know if everybody else here does, but I'll be flipping back and forth tomorrow. I think we got early game tomorrow. Why ain't my internet
Tomorrow?
working?
Saturday?
Tomorrow,
Saturday,
Saturday.
yeah.
You got 2 games
Playoffs.
tomorrow.
Hmm.
And I know you got the Packers San Francisco tomorrow
You
night.
got the Texans and Ravens is the early game,
Yeah.
3:30 Central Time, and then the Packers 49ers is the night game, 7:15 Central Time.
Isn't the
So,
Ravens really good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
they
good.
should
Yeah.
they should handle the Texans, right?
They should.
Mhm.
would think.
You would
And then
you
the-
would think.
They're
the 49 good or no?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the Packers look dang good against
They-
Dallas.
but
Against,
it's
dude,
Dallas.
they made Cowboys look stupid.
They
It's
did
Dallas,
in,
though.
in Dallas too, in Jerry world.
I got the Ravens
All
to
right,
win.
I'm gonna go Ravens, and I'm gonna go Green Bay.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nah.
Jesse.
Ravens
What's
and
the
San
spread
Francisco.
for
I
this
don't even
game?
know.
All right.
Jesse's the one that bets on this stuff.
Hey, listen, terrible idea. Don't do
Oh man.
Uh,
Yeah.
What about you got on Sunday? You got the Bucks at the Lions.
Lions. I am
And
pulling
Lions, it'd be
Super
cool to
Bowl.
see
I
the
want the
Lions.
Lions to win it all.
Which is crazy because we're in Florida. We're not pulling for the Bucks. Like, what are we
I
doing?
would,
What are we
I
doing?
wouldn't mind seeing the Bucks win, but
If they
I
beat the
think-
Lions and the Lions are out, then I'll pull for them. But there's something I just want to see the Lions because what's it been 30 years since they'd even won a playoff game? You
They were
know,
plum crying.
yeah,
Like, they were,
Exactly.
I
they were
was
plum
crying.
crying.
You know, Eminem thinking about how much that meant to him.
Oh my gosh.
Mom spaghetti.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I am
Hey,
looking
what about-
forward
alright.
to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the game of the weekend is the Chiefs at the Bills. on
Yes.
Sunday night. Who we got there?
I'm going for Chiefs.
I mean, if I had to put money on it, I'd pick the Chiefs. But there's something about the Bills and Josh Allen that I really like.
You-
I just find them entertaining to watch because
Alright,
he's either
you
throwing
know-
touchdowns or interceptions. You know?
Yeah, or he's
Very
running like a
Favre-like.
or
Yeah.
he's running like
For
a
his
fullback.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of here's what I would like to see. I wanted it to be the Bills and the boys in the Super Bowl, like the '90s. You know, feeling like my
Yeah.
childhood again. But I'll settle for the Bills and Detroit in the Super Bowl. The Bills and the Lions. That's what I'm rooting for.
That'd be a
That'd be
good
a
one.
heck of a Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
And be something different, a change up. than
Yeah,
what we're
we'll
used
see.
to.
We'll see. We
Yeah.
never know. But I will be kind of keeping an eye on both the race tomorrow night and the Packers and the Niners. That's going to be.
We might be going live. Are we gonna wait? Are you gonna stop
We'll
watching
see.
the game to go live?
Nah, I'll have it pulled up over here and be
Mhm.
watching both.
I'll
type of
probably
thing.
have it on too.
All right. One other reminder. What was the name of our channel again?
The Hunt the Front podcast.
The Hunt the Front podcast. It might be hard to find. Jesse, do the chat
It's because
thing.
it's it's at the Hunt the Front podcast.
We will go live tomorrow night after Volusia, either here or there. Our goal is to, when we do this, we want to do this regularly with y'all, and we want to do it, but we're going to do it on another channel. So we just went today and this afternoon and created another channel called the Hunt the Front podcast. And that's where we're going to do this kind of stuff. So check that out. If you missed last night, you can go watch the clips, the highlights, if you will, from that. Subscribe to that channel. That'll help us out. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that. Because we're going to keep right on doing our vlogs and stuff like normal right here on the main Hunt the Front channel. And we're going to start dabbling in this podcast, whatever you want to call this stuff, over on the Hunt the Front podcast. And we're going to keep doing our normal thing on Patreon as well. So if you're not on Patreon, patreon.com/Hunt the Front, we had a whole nother podcast yesterday we recorded on there talking about the Crown Vic race from Southern and the Enduro deal and our plans for Speed Weeks where we're going to be racing. So check that out as well. But we appreciate y'all being here, hanging out with us. Like we kind of mentioned it earlier, it means the world to us that we can sit here and 500 people want to sit here and listen to us talk.
Absolutely.
Never would have thought that. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, I hope y'all tune in tomorrow night. If all goes as planned, we'll be going live on the other channels. So find the Hunt the Front podcast, subscribe to that channel, turn the notifications on, and we'll try to go live there tomorrow night. If we don't get everything ironed out, we'll go live here. But that's our goal, is to go live there tomorrow night after the finale at Volusia. Anybody got anything else?
W's in chat.
W's in chat.
What did you think about our second episode?
Mm.
Yeah, really appreciate y'all tuning in. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Be sure to go find that other's channel, because we do not plan on being live back here again. So you're gonna have to come find us on the other channel to participate and be a part of it again. We'd love for you to be there.
Yep. You'll find that channel, subscribe to it. Joshua, you got anything?
I'm good. Enjoyed it, and looking forward to some football and more racing tomorrow.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
cold weather too. It's gonna be chilly. It's
Hey.
cold in Florida. I know it's cold wherever
Ain't no
y'all
doubt.
are.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Hey, congrats to the winners tonight from Volusia. You know,
Yep.
Moran,
No doubt.
Oh yeah.
you know, getting her done.
Hey, if tomorrow night's feature is better than tonight's, it'll be something else.
It's
give 'em
gonna be
that.
lit.
All right, Jesse, how did I
Burn
turn this
Marner.
thing off?
All right, go to stream ending. Hey, bye everybody. Stream
See
ending.
y'all. Thank
Thanks for
y'all.
watching, everyone.
Appreciate
Have a good
y'all.
night.
Y'all have a good night.
Stay
Stay
warm.
warm out there.